age of 32, 33 in 1992, because I'm passionate about this. I used to be a critic of government when I was in the University of Liberia in the 70s. I actually went to jail in 1978 at the age of 22. And you probably remember the old man Jacob Clipwood that used to be on ELW. He started naming company who said Dusty Wolopoli, Cabo Wisner Sando, John Stewart, they named all the people, and he said Tiawan Gongloe, I was the youngest among them. He said, hey, I hear like the man in Toledo. He said, they want sound like a man name, which was true. And I was the youngest going to university from our district, so I was a big issue. But I spoke about corruption, and those days the people used to tell us that they want to remember. That thing you're talking, when you leave school and go there, you will do the same thing.
They used to say that to you?
Yes, you will do the same thing. So when I was working in Dr. Sawyer's office, I was very mindful of that. My prayer every morning used to be, God, give me the courage to resist the temptation of crossing the line that I shouted at other people for. I keep that prayer today. So Sawyer sent me to be our presidential envoy. He had to carry a letter to two presidents, presidential envoy. I carried a letter to President Joseph Momo in Sierra Leone and a letter to President Conte in Guinea. And because they know that sometimes it takes you a week or even 2 to see president, they gave me 20 days. And Francis Capra is still in time, was the Minister of Finance. They gave me $4,500 for 20 days. So I spent 10 days. Luckily, after 4 or 5 days in Sierra Leone, God Stevens, the Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs, was a good friend of one government official, and he sent for me. He said, 5 o'clock, I went and saw the president. I sat down with President Momo, gave the letter, he read it, and we kept conversation for about an hour, and I left. I got on the boat from the next day, and there was a tourist boat that used to carry people from Freetown to Conakry. Those two countries are not too far apart. So I got on the boat, went to Freetown, and met the dead ambassador, Marcus Kofa. After another 4 or 5 days, I was carried to see President Conte was still in the forest region, so the foreign minister still saw me. The thing is, so I spent 10 days, I came back. I went to the finance minister and said, I'm returning your 10 days money. His reaction was, but the money for you that you put down, I said, yeah, but it was for 20 days. I spent 10 days.
You did that?
Yes. I spent 10 days, I'm bringing back $2,225. $225. Half of the money. I brought it back, I gave it to him. He said, well, I know we're taking it from the treasury. It's for you now, but since you say, I said, but I can't justify it. I returned with my juice station. So he gave me a receipt. To his credit, he gave me a receipt. More than that, I respect him. The next day, he deposited the money at the National Bank. Central Bank was then called National Bank, and sent my deposit slip in there. So I did that, and when I was in government, I Solicitor General, when I was Minister of Labor, I did the same thing. The one I like to talk about is that the comptroller gave me $500 to go solve the big lack, the strike that was lack, $500 incidental. So I spent the money and brought in receipt, and I gave the money back. He said, but Minister, for $500, I said, yo, because I want you to do the same thing. So, and with the Bar Association, the last money I returned many amounts they gave me whenever I go, and then the host bar also takes care of it. The last one in Lomé, the West African Community Court of Justice invited me to the 20th anniversary, and the bar gave me $1,000 for the few days I was going. I didn't open the envelope when I got there. The next day they called the finance office, one Liberian, his name is Toa. He is the finance officer. I called. He gave me an envelope with $1,200 inside, more than what even the bar gave me. So I didn't open the bar envelope. I spent that money, and used that down, and brought the bar money back.
You brought the bar money back?
Yes. So, I've been doing that. That is what gave me the courage to say I can fight corruption.
Now, since we started on this corruption note, some Liberians say the reason why it will be difficult for any Liberian administration and government to fight corruption is the fact that we are interrelated. People say we are all the same. You know, your leader thing, you want to fight corruption, people are afraid maybe bring up trouble in the country. Do you see it that way?
No, I don't see it that way. Because why? If you have a single parent, maybe even a single mother, will take switch and chastise her son, the one that she carried for 9 months, so that child can be straight. Her own child. So to say because we are interrelated, we are friends in a small society, we know each other, you cannot punish someone. I respect President Talbot for one reason. I mean, criticize him for many reasons. We're not perfect, but in many governance issues, President Talbot was better than many presidents in our country, even including presidents that succeeded, including President Salih, who worked on him, everybody. He was much better than all those presidents.
Why?
Okay. He believed in the rule of law.
Talbot?
Yes. In 1978, I will tell you something. I don't know how old you were, but President Talbot, a man called William Talbot, who was named after him, younger than him, I think, nephew or cousin. But they named him William Talbot because of President Talbot. He killed his wife in Painesville. The mother went to court. He was found guilty. He appealed to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court affirmed the judgment. And they sent a death warrant to President Talbot. He called his relative, who carried his name, in his office, and he had ELTV. ELTV was the only TV station at that time. We all went to the study room at the Seymour Greeley Hall on University campus to watch it. We couldn't believe what we saw that day. He said, Bill, you are my close relative. You are closer to me because you were named after me. We are the two in the Talbot family that we call William. But I took oath to obey, promote, defend, and execute the laws of the Republic of Liberia, the Constitution and statutes. And that law says, when you kill somebody in the country, you should be executed. And the only person who can give that order than me. So I will obey the law. I also have a right to pardon you. But nobody will believe that I pardon you. My pardon will not be considered objective. They will say because I have family. Meanwhile, at that time, they were trying the Yancey and the other people from Kibamazu. Their case was still in court. So he took the death warrant. He said, but you know, Bill, I'm also the pastor of the Zion Praise Baptist Church of Bensonville. So I'll pray for God to receive your soul, but I'll sign the death warrant. We're sitting there sweating. Everybody, you need him to receive. He took his pen. And then he put the pen and he said, let's pray. He had that short prayer. As soon as he said, in the name of Jesus Christ, amen.
He signed.
He signed.
You're serious?
And Bill was crying on television. That's what I used to say when I left home. I used to tell President Salih, President Talbot that you work on son death warrant for his relative. You can't fire your son. People complaining about. You know what I'm saying? So if
and he died.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, the next day, that was Thursday. On Friday, the Talbot family went to Central Prison for wakekeeping. They spent all night wakekeeping. All the Talbot family were against him. They were angry. But he stood on the side of the law. He said he took oath and he must execute consistent with law. That is an example that everybody who wants to be leader in this country must follow. I mean, I don't believe in death penalty, but that was the law. That was the law. So you know when he did that, when they prayed that night, by 6 o'clock. It's 5:45. They say the sheriff came for him, say you now go on the gallows. They used to have the thing there. Then the rope, the noose is there. They put it around your neck, right? And then exactly 6 o'clock, they hold the thing for honor you. You're hanging. and you will hang from 6 o'clock in the morning, before maybe you hold your breath. So that's a few minutes ago. You will hang from 6 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening, and the sheriff of criminal code A will now come and take the news of your body and turn your body over to be buried. Talbot did that. So if a president can use the law to sign death warrant, what is wrong with dismissing people and putting them in jail?
Councillor Gongloe, give us a fair picture of your government's policy on corruption. So how will you treat it?
So number one.
You want to bring the mic up small?
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. Let me.
No, I need to just bring it up.
Yeah, okay.
So
the first thing I would do, my own asset declaration, my salary and my benefit as president, I will put on the executive mansion website. I will put all the ministers, the heads of the 3 branches of government, everybody, I will put their salaries on the government website. The law, this constitution, Liberia supports that. It's not private. Article 15C of the Constitution says the people of Liberia have a right to know about their government and its functionaries. One of the information that the employers of the people who work for the Liberian people must know and have a right to know is how much they are paying them. How do you employ somebody and you don't know how much you're paying them?
Article 15C.
Yeah, really.
In pursuance of this right, there shall be no limitation on the public right to be informed about the government and its functionaries.
Correct. That's it. So I will put it there. I will not be violating anybody's right. Why? Because I appoint Piso as Minister of Information, and after 3 months, he started billing $500 story billing, $500,000 story billing. That the people in the community, they would first they'll be shocked. Then who they billing it for them? Other men are renting one apartment. Okay, so now they will go on the same radio and start calling you. Piso is a rogue. He used to be on the radio talking about
yeah.
Now he's a rogue, and some people can't beat drum before your door. Shaming, naming and shaming is the first punishment that public officials get. You know, naming and shaming and LD will be all in the newspaper, all on the radio station, and people will be beaten to drum to your. You're the one guy all suffering. Then when I get that information, as president, I will fire you immediately. Then you don't enjoy my pleasure anymore because you are minister based on the will and pleasure of the president. I'll fire you. I tell you over to LACT, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission. They will investigate you. Maybe you building some house in Ghana and all that one there, all will come out. And then you will go to, they will carry you to court, the prosecutor will find you guilty because the evidence will be clear. You can't justify that I got one friend in Kuwait that sent me money because the code of conduct says nobody should get any gift that is valued above $250 United States dollars. So you can't justify the 500,000 and say my friend in Kuwait or Saudi Arabia sent me money. No, you'll be guilty. When you're found guilty, you go to jail 5 to 10 years. And we'll use the law, the balance of the money in the bank, we'll take it from you. The houses and cars you bought, everything you acquired, whatever, will confiscate all for you and turn it over to the people of Liberia through the government. And I've asked a question from Kipamos from Cape Town to Kipamos, including asking a question in President Williams Town, Sastown, Washington. I said, you think when 5 ministers are in jail, because I put who execute the budget, the ministers. I'm not talking about the other people. So they say, when I say, you think when 5 ministers are in jail for 10 years each, and their family members suffering, any minister will want to steal? The answer can be unanimous, no. And I say, you think anybody who's been planning, killing people, carrying a heart to medicine man just so you can be minister? Any of them want to be minister in my government? They say no. I said that why they don't represent? They are finished sweeping corruption from government. It's not hard to do. And it is not possible for me to do it with any level of credibility. Let me tell you, ministers don't appoint a president before. You sit down, your bodyguard and when you're traveling, they're Liberian. If on the first day, I was talking this thing, Piso, I say, yeah, Mohammed, You know, I gave the 200,000 to my son. I told you, and then he said, yeah, 200,000. I said, yeah. He said, hey. And I ate there. The driver, I didn't know. My aide came, I didn't know. When they get home in the evening, they bring the driver food. The driver will tell his wife, I don't want to eat. They country film. Council Gongloe that used to talk like God. The one I saw him, I saw him do today. The country not going to know. There is no secrecy in government. People who think there's secret. You know, there's no secret in government. Everything the president does, the minister does.
So you say you will publish your assets?
I will publish my assets. More than that. Every 3 months, we'll have the next step I will take is we'll have quarterly lifestyle audit.
Who's going to do that?
The GAC. GAC will assign an auditor to each of the to do lifestyle audit. Lifestyle audit, and now the money they gave you, what you doing with it? People will look at it, come and say, oh boy, you acquired new Mercedes Benz, minister. Where you got that money from? Your lifestyle is changing. You spend, we're checking your expenditure now and comparing it. The auditor will be checking on your expenditure and comparing it with what you are worth, your salary and benefits, and even your assets that you have. And every 3 months when they finish, you will publish a report. I will order that they publish a report even before I see it as president, so they can publish my own too. I did this, everything I'm doing, I've tested before. When I was president of the bar, for my 3 years, and it had never happened before, I asked the executive committee, executive council of the bar to approve hiring of an external auditing firm. And an external auditing firm was hired through competitive bidding, and they audited my 3 years and published. They said, we'll finish. I said, you'll publish it online for all the lawyers to read. And they did it. But that is why my vice president was elected. So virtually I have a third term in the bar. There's a continuity. 3 persons went against him, and he won all of them by more than 100 margin. So people they like that thing. They like transparency.
No.
They like accountability. So we'll do that. And then the report comes. I would use an example. So people build faster building, you know, buy another Mercedes Benz, even trying to get a yacht. So the report is there. I dismiss you first and take you to the LSCC, and you go through the process of prosecution, and you are found guilty, you go to jail, and the properties are taken from you. When we do that, we will stamp out corruption from public service. Why do I say so? If the president does not steal, it's hard for the ministers to steal. And even the president does not steal, and some ministers are brave to steal. When they steal, the deputies will steal. Minister can't steal without the comptroller knowing, without the chief accountant knowing. Even when it comes to procurement, without the procurement director knowing. You know, I will say this publicly because my deputy minister said, the former deputy minister John Josiah, professor in the law school, he said, the mayor, I said many ministers enjoy honor the other minister, but honor him I did not enjoy. He said because, he said one day, his wife, not knowing, came and said, oh, our generator down. So they place the ministry can fix generator. And he did well for himself because he said this publicly so I can talk. He said in the gathering. He came to me. He said, oh, Madam Selma. I said, if you use government money to repair my private generator, I'll go to the president to decide whether you stay out or I stay. So everything I said.
He wanted to use the ministry's money to repair your private generator.
Yeah. How?
And you said no?
No. For what? I bought my generator. And I want to do the budget. Now government generator. We should learn to do that. So I've been practicing the kind of thing from my 30s.
Let me ask you another question. I'm still on corruption, but at another level. A lot of Liberians think that the rule of law in our country is being compromised. A lot of Liberians think access to justice is sinking. I mean, it depends on who you talk to. We can have a whole bunch of argument about that. And some people believe one of the reasons why people do it is because sometimes when there are high-profile cases, for example, the leaders, whether the president or the ministers, I mean, there is this belief that people can take form and just call a justice. People can take form and just call a judge and say, look, this is my interest, I want it this way. And people blind their eyes to certain things. What would you do differently?
Okay, so I would issue an executive order that anybody in my government that takes telephone to call a police officer, beginning with that, or to call a magistrate, even a magistrate police, a sheriff, and let's talk about judge or a justice, will be immediately fired, because I want to protect the rule of law. The law must be equally applied to everyone according to our constitution without fear or favor. So if anybody undermines, because that's the thing that we need the rule of law atmosphere so that we can carry on social economic development. Nobody wants to invest in a country where there is lawlessness. One of the recent investment that come here is because people don't believe that there is rule of law here. Auditors are killed, or their bodies are fallen, and there can be no clear explanation. People die, the reasons are questionable, and there were times when the American embassy issued statement, like even one time, another time, Liberians now say don't come. Other embassies are doing that simply because of the failure of government to rigidly enforce the law. There should be enforcement of the law. I like what is happening in America now. Donald Trump, former president, one of the top citizens of the United States, went to jail for 1 hour. I mean, he did a fingerprint and all of that. Nobody's above the law. When you have a situation where nobody's above the law, peace is sustained, there is progress in the country, social economic development will go on, employment, all these things will happen. When you pass around America, we're looking for jobs. I mean, jobs open everywhere. When I traveled to America recently, I said, oh, the country with a big population and they're advertising jobs everywhere. Simply because of rule of law. I've heard some presidential candidates say, oh, rule of law is not an issue that the economy. They are ignorant. They are naive. Nobody can invest in chaos. You want your investment to be protected by law enforcement. You want it to be protected by the court. So if anybody comes in to you and says, oh, rule of law is not, you cannot develop the economy. You cannot grow the budget. You cannot if there's no rule of law. So I will uphold the rule of law. I will defend our former Solicitor General, and as someone who are on the other side defending all of that and teach law, I will make sure that this country develops, and it will be done because life and property will be protected here. There will be law and order. Even our everything, our pen boys, the thing that happen when they say, "Oh, President, we have to go anywhere." Go to GFK and the other hospitals. The number of pen boys and the passengers who are wounded and dead in great number that the hospitals don't really have the capacity to take care of. Why? Because government neglected its responsibility of opening training schools to train pen riders and to certificate them. When you train them, as it happens in Rwanda, I said we have another section of Rwanda because I've been to Rwanda twice. In Rwanda, they have pen too, but the pen rider has it, and another helmet for the passenger. That is order, and that law is upheld. So you don't hear about so many accidents, accidents, because the government is carrying on its responsibility of controlling things, training people. The children just go on the football field and say, "My man, ride it here." Okay, you can ride. He doesn't. I've been many times. I've been right at the traffic light on 20th Street, and all cars are stopped, and the paper boys are passing. They don't believe that the laws of the road are laws that apply to them too. And my driver on one paper and they stopped there. He said, "My man, you got to stop." He said, "Oh, but they learn that for cars." Simply because they have not been told. It is the responsibility of government to ensure that there's order, and that one of the responsibilities that will make sure that in every aspect of our life there will be rule of law. There will be rule of law.
Why should we trust you?
Because of my past record. Look at the bar. In fact, let me go to the everywhere I've gone, I've transformed. So I have a history of transformation. I used to criticize the Justice Ministry. You got all kind of people as county attorney and city solicitor, all the people who don't know law. When I became Minister of Justice, and then I freed several journalists from underground jail there at the Ministry of Justice. I said, how can justice be anchored on injustice? So I got the Ministry of Justice. I said, the UN came to me and said, we want to train your county attorneys. I said, I have no trainable county attorney. There was only one, the late Samuel Jacob, Mosorado County. All the other people were not, some of them were not even high school graduates. And they were county attorneys, putting people in jail. People who don't know law. So I went to the president and said, we are violating rights. How can people who don't know law guide the police and put people in jail? Then I used to get all this complaint from them, the county attorney. SG, the police commander in Grand Hill doesn't respect me. The police commander in Grand Crew does not respect me. The police. I said, yeah. The police commander went to police academy. At the police academy, you were taught something about law. You had never had any kind of training. And when you and he disagree over charge, he will tell you there's a charge. You say no. You say I will not go by your charge. And they were complaining. Sometimes you tell them to charge people, sometimes they want to charge people different way. I said because they feel they have basic training. You never had training. So when I convinced President Saye that rule of law is the only thing that will sustain the peace, therefore we must have law school graduates and county attorney. My minister at that time was Francis Johnson Morris. I went to her. She said, but every day in the cabinet, people complaining no money, no anything you tell me. I said, she said, I'll carry it. I said, I'll go. So I was deputy minister, but I addressed the cabinet. I went there on other issue. The president said, yeah, okay, you say you're Solicitor General, I got it. I said,
in a cabinet meeting?
Yes. I said, Madam President, when Tobo was president, his emphasis was integrated rural development. So they gave scholarship to students who were doing engineering, and when they graduated, they gave them $900 in the 70s. $900 salary. And they gave them one pickup, go to the rural area to go make sure that we have roads in the interior. Your own is to sustain the peace. Therefore, rule of law is number one. That's the instrument you use. We have to have agents of rule of law who are trained. When I got you, Minister Otuka McIntosh, your Minister of Planning, he said, I agree with the Solicitor General, the other minister, I agree, everybody agrees, right? The president said, well, you made your case, everybody agrees with you. The next time they put it in the budget. So I recommended one twin cabin pickup, one generator, one laptop, and prosecution fund for the county attorneys. It was agreed upon. County attorneys started making, I think, $1,200 or so. I stayed at the Ministry of Justice, and all 15 of the counties were men by law school graduates. Prosecution changed. Respect came to prosecution. I never heard any more complaints from any county attorney that know that the immigration commission chief here or the police does not respect me. That is what knowledge does. Knowledge is power, and they have power, and things change. I'm proud that even today, the current county attorney of Lofa County was recommended by me. It was during my time that he became county attorney. All of them were telling me, SG, you send your interior, we hear, some of them said we only spend 6 months, some say one year. They enjoy the job so much because when you county attorney, actually when the superintendent commits crime, you have authority to charge the superintendent. So they became so powerful in the county, they enjoy the job, they remain there. Some of them are still with Justice Ministry today. I'm proud of that transformation. I recommended the establishment of the Special Prosecution Unit, SGBV, and it was accepted in my 2007 report. It was accepted, they established a unit, and I recruited the first lawyer and staff of that place. That is my record of transformation. It was never there before. I closed down the underground jail. It was never there.
They had underground jail there?
Yeah. They used to put.
What do you mean? At the Ministry of Justice?
Yeah. There were
underground. On Ashmore Street.
Yeah.
At that time.
Underground jail right by the Solicitor General office. You pass by the Solicitor General office and you go to the staircase. You go there, so you go to the Solicitor General office. Sanamo will tell you. I like to give you an example because it's popular. Many journalists are free. But Sanamo, so you go there and then the edge says, carry the man down to a child corner. They carry to that G. Then there was a small honeycomb there. The window so small you can. So I'm passing. So it was the Ministry of Justice at that time was between at the corner of Ashmore and Center Street, right? So I passed on Center Street in the afternoon. I heard somebody tell me the mosquito one low. That was something like, what are you doing? I'm in jail. I want to go and get you released. We were friends before, but even stronger our friendship today. So I changed. When I got to the Ministry of Justice, I put an office there on the day of arrival. So no police can make me send put somebody there. I do things based on what I say because I believe in the things I say. When I got to the Ministry of Labor, the only thing I want to do at the Ministry of Labor is to strengthen liberalization policy. Because as a labor lawyer, every time you go, different people doing jobs that librarians are qualified to do. Labor law says don't give jobs to foreigners for jobs when they are librarians that are qualified for that job. So I went there. I called all the employers together, especially at that time, the Indians and Lebanese were the highest employers. I called them. I said, I beg you, employ librarians because you see the young people playing the industry on Rana Street. They're standing in the corner. They're all at the tire shop. If they don't have job, crime rate will go up. They say the librarians are lazy and they can steal. I said, you talk to the Minister of Labor, who was appointed by the president elected by the librarians, so you're insulting the librarians. I said, I know what to do. I called my staff together. We came up, we agreed, and I said, we have to carry the work permit fee up. I explained the agreement. We carried from $400 to $1,000. As soon as we did it, I started hearing from the inspector that some of the foreign employers who had like 50 persons in the employer, cut it down to 20, and they gave the job to librarians. If I employ 2 librarians for one job, you got to pay the foreigners more. So a lot of librarians got jobs because of my regulation number 17. In fact, the minister who was there now, my friend Charles Gibson, he said, my man, your regulation still helping also. Regulation number 17. I completed Minister Kofi, who started drafting a new labor law called the Decent Work Act, but he had not gone far. I completed it and submitted it to the President of Liberia in 2010, before I resigned. So regulation number 17 and the Decent Work Act, which are the 2 legal instruments used by the Ministry of Labor right now.
So what are the key 2 things your administration will focus on the first year of your administration?
Well, of course, we will focus. I've already mentioned one. And let me say this: I want to create jobs. So the first thing I will do, I will issue on the first day in office, I will issue this order to all ministers, heads of agencies, and public corporation that anybody who buys foreign-made furniture will be dismissed by me immediately. I don't want to.
Say that again.
Anybody who buys foreign-made furniture will be dismissed by me. I want them to buy Liberian furniture made by Liberian carpenters. We're not going to create jobs for carpenters in other countries, or we have carpenters here. That will put a lot of money in the pockets of carpenters.
Will you not be infringing on the rights of people as a human rights lawyer yourself?
No. Preferential treatment by government is key. That's what the people elected me for, to seek the common good that they'll be using to send to other countries. In America, I live in America. They can say for these contracts, only American companies or American citizens apply. They do in Ghana, they do in Nigeria, they do in other places. So we'll do the same thing here. We'll give preferential treatment to Liberian entrepreneurs and skilled people. So when in purchasing also, I would say for all procurement of goods, Liberians should be preferred. You must go to other people and if I find you violation, I'll fire you. Because I want to create millionaires outside government. And Liberian business people that will employ Liberians. and make the economy grow from here. They will not go anywhere when they make foreign business, but they make money here, they won't go to other countries. There are people making business, you go to America, so you see them say, oh yeah, I'm now in California, I got a big store there. Liberian businessman will stay right here. Especially when you have rule of law and he's right here in his room. I want to make multi-millionaires outside government. Not
What's your
government.
policy for education in the health sector?
So,
in 5 minutes, then we can take calls.
So education, I can say all 45 minutes. Education, there will be free education from kindergarten to 12th grade because we want the foundation to be strong, and there will be no volunteer teacher. All teachers will be paid, all materials will be provided. So free education means no school fee paid, registration fee, nothing, no graduation fee. I heard you talk about graduation fee, no flexibility fee, no wire fee, free from kindergarten to 12th grade. Government provide food. That's the experience. The thing I'm talking happened before. So that, and then we eliminate illiteracy in 2 years. Everybody in Liberia will know how to read and write. I'm an adult literacy teacher. We'll give stipend to students of Liberia from 7th grade up to college level to teach at least 10 persons in your community every day after school. And we eliminate illiteracy. We will open free technical and vocational schools in the 15 counties for the young people who are running Pepena to be mechanic, to be carpenter, to learn trade. That's education. The next thing I'll do is health. Health, pregnant women, children under the age of 5, and Liberians from 65 years old will go to all government hospitals and clinics free of charge. And government hospital and clinic under my administration will be better than private hospital and clinic. Why? Because I have said publicly that when I want medical treatment, I will go to JFK, I will go to other government.
You will not fly outside?
I will not fly outside, and I will not commit any government resource for
as
anybody.
president of Liberia,
I will
you're
not,
on the radio,
I'm on the radio. I will not go anywhere.
You take treatment here?
I will take treatment here. When I go to JFK and they tell me, Mr. President, when you get it, so you should fly outside. I say, the budget, you may call for this. And because before I go there, I know I'll ask the Minister of Finance, the money has been dispersed. Where is the head? I will fire you and turn you over to the police for investigation. CID will investigate you. I will do that. I will go to about 10 hospitals and clinics. Surprise visit. I go to Bridges here town in Riverside. I say I came for checkup. And the things are supposed to be there, not there. Because today, you go to JFK, they only give you prescription and say go to Lucky Pharmacy to buy the drug. These things is happening all over the country. I go to 330 towns. The clinics are only giving prescription, not giving medicine. I believe that when about 10 heads of hospitals and clinics run by government are in jail answering for their actions, the hospitals and clinics will be number one. They'll be better. You go there, there will be places to cure and not to kill, as it's happening now, because they are killing people by negligence of duty, by failing to do their work. We will make Liberia a rice exporter in a few years, because instead of like this government are giving $11 million to rice importer to subsidize rice, I will take that money and buy machines and give it to farmers through the farmers cooperatives all over the country in order to grow rice, so that we can have enough rice all over the country. Only machine can make big rice farm, the rubber farm, or cocoa palm, or salad. More than that, I will give machines to the army, farming machines, under the authority of the agriculture battalion and the engineering battalion. And I will give under the chief of staff that the army must grow at least 100 acres of rice in each of the 15 counties every year. Then finally, I will do this. I will make sure that the roads in Liberia are maintained throughout the year. When I was growing up in Tabata, again I experienced, these are not new ones. In Tabata, there was power here in Tabata. There was one in Kwetu, there was one in Ganta, there was one in Totan, there was one in Zodri, there was one in Kamrike. So the roads were maintained throughout the year. They were not paved, but people were traveling. In 1979, for example, than today. Why I mentioned 1979, doing political work, and then when I finished in July, rainy season, I took taxi from I think they call the street Green Street or so in Harper City in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. By 9 p.m. on that same day, Clarence, I was in Monrovia. It can't happen now.
What about electricity?
Electricity is we already we have more water in Liberia than Africa than many countries. So we invest in hydro, more hydro. Fires too, more than 60 years been having a small hydro there and be cutting down their cost of production. We do the same thing in Liberia. But also, it's a windy country. We invest in windmills, we invest in clean energy, solar power. You know, Liberia, sun shines there every day, so much more. So if we can use solar power in Europe, that can have winter sometimes difficult to have sunshine, possible for us. So we have diversified electricity, and that will strengthen our industrialism all over the country. And Liberia will be better.
Councillor Tiawan Gongloe of the Liberia People's Party is here as our guest this morning. Let's take the rest of the time. We can take 6 minutes to do calls, and then the 4 minutes, Councillor Gongloe will wrap up right here on 0777 and the other numbers. Hello. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yep.
What happened? My law office is to be down there.
Okay, thank you. Foreign call right here. Hello.
Good morning. This is Abubakar calling from Malaysia.
Yeah, Abubakar, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello?
Yeah. I follow Gongloe and I like his approach towards the development of Liberia. My question is with regard to the issue that have to do with the textile industry. I mean, most countries are making a lot of fortune from this industry. I'm fortunate to be one of the workers in this industry. So what is his plan? Is he going to ban the ban import of clothes to allow industrialization in the textile industry? That's my question. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Let me take somebody right here. Hello.
Hello, Bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, Branca here.
Mr. Branca.
Let me thank Councillor Gongloe. I listened to him. On the making life farming situation you were talking about, in 1972 in Sletown and also in Kunembo.
Yeah.
When Thomas started that farm plantation, I don't know whether you are going to the south.
I've been there.
You go to Sletown, the farm plantation is still there, the rice production is still there. People are using it now for illicit, management, because if I help children to go to school, they will come make the oil and all those kind of things. So those things they are doable. It's just a level of commitment of the national government. And for big society, I hope you can make it. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's hear you. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, sir.
Yeah.
I thought it's good guys, very thank you for the good ingredients that you have there. But I really want to ask you, all the people out there that we are supposed to put in our bread for this morning, do you share them out there with the former president or the current president before? Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you. Hello. Hello there. Are you there? We can take you. You're not there. We'll take another person right here. Hello.
Yes, good morning.
Yeah.
Yes, good morning. My name is Gabriel. You are working from Cllr Street. Yeah, as human right of Liberia, what will you do if you become president about the situation occurs at UN embassy about Christmas? So what would say the people walking around with impunity? What would you do, sir?
Okay. No, he's talking about people committing crime and walking with impunity. Hello.
Yeah, good morning, Brother Gongloe.
Yeah, he's listening.
Yeah, I'm okay.
Yeah.
This morning that you were the labor minister when they found out they were white people. That is exactly what we have with the white folks.
Okay.
We were mockery to us, consume mockery to with the white folks. So if he become president, let them try to change that law. That law is not good. How can he pay more, a bit like a half of it that we so? He paid for $138 Take the money, before the more you need to spend everything on your salary, make sure you pay the man who went there, for us. So, the benefits are better than me.
Okay, sir. The decent work bill, he said the money is small. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, this is the second to the last. Yeah, Mr. G, go ahead.
Let me say the honorable this morning. This is why I won't recommend to the government. In 1972, I was on down. In the other house was down. There was an agri-legal
Yeah.
the last pound, yeah. I never recommended to this government, but they're not paying attention. So, honorable, let me appeal to you when you succeed, make agreement with the Israelites to bring agri-legal back to Nigeria.
Okay, thank you. Final caller right here. Let's take you finally. Hello? Hello there. Yeah?
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Joseph that they calling from Cryo this morning.
Okay.
Good morning to Councilor Gongloe.
Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, Councilor Gongloe, you said one thing that we have got my attention is in the store. Like I'm always saying, one get a great United States of America, so great, it is good of them. Irrespective of your religion, your caste, or what's of your political affiliation, but the rule of law is what get America great. For that, I give you kudos. But now that you said, yes, investment not coming, the U.S. government, all of country are getting better, and they're not saying that. This is review. The U.S. government has never said that. They're all of country. I'm all right for you. You can check. There has been no issue of that. But it was just you and Ambassador Walker in the room. Secondly, I will vote you. I will vote you, Councilor Congo. We have President of our party now. With President, we are the race. I'm certainly going to vote us.
Thank you, sir. Councilor Gongloe, let's hear you.
Okay, so but
the
the U.S. Embassy had issued travel advisory many times, so that one that's his view, that's his opinion. On the issue of somebody said about agrimico, in fact, my adapter time in Grand is paused down. Every morning when I'm there, I walk to Silatan, which is like 5 minutes walk from Paulstown, so I know that area. It's true, agrimico did that. We will not necessarily ask agrimico to come back, but we will invest. We have trained a lot of agriculturists in this country. All we need is to put money into the agricultural area, and then we'll do what agrimico used to do by clearing large land for people to plant rice and planting rice with machines. We'll do that. Somebody talk about decent work. Decent work, a good law. Because you give 3 months maternity leave to women. When you have a child, you're working with it. When you're pregnant, you're working with a company. You can take 3 months. Your employer doesn't have to agree. You take your 3 months, and you'll be paid for the 3 months sitting home to deliver and come back. Then we put in our law paternity leave, so you can spend 5 days with your wife after she delivers. It was not there before. We even have something called like compassionate leave. When a family member is sick, your child is sick, or your wife is sick, you can take 5 days off and the company cannot fire you. Now, on the question of salary, it was political. We put in our law that there would be a committee to look at the cost of living and adjust salary. But when it went, it was close to election time. I think that one legislative election, and senators and representatives started talking about minimum wage. There was the law called for minimum wage board to keep adjusting salary of workers, wages of workers based on the economic condition. But they decided that they would put it there, and they put it in the statute. But that is not what came from the Ministry of Labor.
Councilor Gongloe, we gotta go. Thank you.
So let me say to all who listen to me this morning that it seems that from all I've heard on the radio and where I've gone, that the issue of rule of law and combating corruption are the 2 leading things that Liberian people are concerned about. And there's no candidate in the race. There is campaign time. There's no candidate in the race who has the education and experience to strengthen the rule of law and to combat corruption. Except Councillor Gongloe.
Except Councillor Gongloe. Thank you to all of you.
I'm
man.
the only